Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome back to the channel United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Hope you've all had a fantastic Thursday evening. Hope you've had a good week. Hope you've all had a great day. Hope you've had a good Thursday evening. Hope you're all looking forward to the end of the week, and I hope you're all looking forward to another brand new weekend in July 2024 this year. First of all, do me a massive favour for me. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. United Red Devils 20. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button. Remember to always remember to put the notification bell on at all times you receive dedicated brand new content right throughout the rest of 2024 for brand new content, your latest news and transfer news for right throughout the summer transfer window as well this year in 2024. We've got brand new videos, brand new shorts, brand new live streams, and much more brand new stuff planned for all of you amazing people on this channel and on this community right throughout the rest of 2024 on United Red Devils 20. And we have at last our first here we go for Manchester United summer transfer window this year in 2024. We finally have the first here we go. Obviously, we are massively behind being able to react to our first bit of business being done by Manchester United this year in the summer transfer window. But finally, after a long 4 weeks of huffing and puffing and plenty of patience being played by Take That, and plenty of sighs of reliefs and sighs of breath, finally Manchester United fans can finally start to be able to get a little bit more excited for the rebuild under INEOS, under the managementship of Erik ten Hag as our manager of Manchester United Football Club. We finally have our first here we go. And it is Bologna striker Joshua Zirkzee. Here we go. Romano tweeted it 8 hours ago. Exclusive. Joshua Zirkzee to Manchester United. Here we go. Manchester United will not trigger the clause. Man United will play slightly above 40 million euros, which is about 34 million, with better payment terms in 3 years. Zirkzee signs until June 2029, so it's a 5-year contract with an option of a further season. So we've got Zirkzee here for about 6 years as a Manchester United player, and he's the first signing of the new era under the INEOS ownership at Manchester United. And obviously, David Ornstein obviously tweeted this earlier today as well about Joshua Zirkzee. Joshua Zirkzee is scheduled to fly into the UK tonight and undergo his Manchester United medical on Friday ahead of completing his move from Bologna to Manchester United. The 23-year-old Dutch striker is joining Manchester United for 42.5 million euros, which is going to be spread over 3 years on a 5+1 year contract at the Athletic at Fabrizio Romano. So obviously, it's been a long 4 weeks, and it's been quite, annoying, frustrating. There's been a lot of impatience from me. There's been a lot of annoyance. There's been a lot of frustration. But we finally have our first here we go. And we finally have our second striker that Manchester United were desperately crying out for in January. How Erik ten Hag was allowed to go that whole season with basically only one striker. It absolutely bewildered me. Like, I can't believe we were allowed to go a whole season with only Rasmus Højlund up front. That for me was clearly not backing the manager. That for me was clearly throwing him under the bus. And basically, that was a point of trying to get Erik ten Hag out of this football club by throwing him under the bus, not getting him the players he wants, not backing him, and not giving him the players he desperately needed to improve that Manchester United team. We finally have our first here we go, and it's Joshua Zirkzee of Bologna. 5-year contract with an option of a further year. What do I think of this signing personally as a Manchester United fan? I think for me, is it the striker that I really wanted us to get? For me, being honest, it's a no. Option 2 was, I think there was better strikers out there Manchester United could have got. And I think point number 3 I take from this, the problem is with Manchester United, we're not in the Champions League. And I think we probably had a list of transfer targets in the striker position that Manchester United were desperately somehow trying to go and get, tried to bring this to this club. I think Manchester United have got very desperate in these last 4 weeks, trying to chase players here, there and everywhere. and we've not seen a lot of movement. And there's been a lot of frustration. There's been a lot of anger. There's been a lack of in and outs of this football club. But it looks like now we are finally starting to move, and Joshua Zirkzee will be the first of many, many steps in this summer transfer window for Manchester United. And I hope this move works out for him. Obviously, he's still very young. There's a lot of room of development to improve his game going forward. And he's another young striker like Rasmus. There is a lack of Premier League experience. There's a lack of, there is goals in him, but as you saw with the Euros, he hardly kicked a ball for the Dutch team, for the Netherlands. He hardly kicked a ball for the Dutch. And throughout that whole Euro 2024 campaign where the Netherlands lost 2-1 to England on Wednesday night, Joshua Zirkzee hardly seen any sign of playing time. He didn't see any time of getting in that team because he was on the bench for every single game under Ronald Koeman. And I think for me, was clearly neglected at the Euros under his managementship of the Netherlands team. I felt sorry for Joshua Zirkzee because there's a player in there that can give you skill. There's a player in there that can deliver you quality. And there's a player there that can actually get Manchester United moving in a positive direction going forward. And I'm hoping this is going to be the right striker signing, because if this doesn't work out and he doesn't score the goals that we know he can score, and he don't start hitting the target that Manchester United are trying to get out of the type of player that Joshua Zirkzee is, then there is going to be sign for concern. Because if this move fails and this move doesn't work out in his 6-year stay at Manchester United, we have then got another very, very expensive striker at this football club that we are going to be unable to shift out, because we were desperately in need of goals last season. At many games, at many points of last season, Man United were struggling to score goals, and everyone saw it. Manchester United were lacking a lack of talent up front and a lack of goal scoring threat. And that was the problem in every single game last season. Man United had no striker going forward. Our hope was in Rasmus Højlund, who is only 21. That was our only hope last season of Manchester United scoring any type of goal. We had our whole hopes on the 21-year-old striker, who again has come from Serie A, from Atalanta to the Premier League, and it's a massive, massive step up in quality. It's a completely different league from Serie A. It's a different style of play. It's a quicker play. It's a quicker tempo of football. We play a lot more traditional attacking football in the Premier League, and it's a much more attacking, fast-paced game. In Serie A, it's a lot more slower build-up. Serie A, you don't see that type of quality that the Premier League delivers now. And obviously, again, we have bought another striker from Serie A. We've bought another striker from Italy. And again, there's going to be a lot of questions thinking, why have Manchester United gone down that route of bringing another striker in from a Serie A club, and bringing him to Manchester United has got to work and has got to work out pretty quickly. There's going to be a lot of pressure. There's going to be a lot of stress, because if he doesn't start scoring goals and give it 5 or 10 games, he isn't finding the back of the net, there's going to be a lot of uproar, not just from the fans, but there's going to be a lot of uproar in this new structure that Man United are building under Dan Ashworth, Omar Barada, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Sir Dave Brailsford, Jason Wilcox, and that Blanc. We've built a completely different direction of directors now that are running this club, hopefully, and properly off the pitch. I'm hoping this club is going to get run properly under the leadership of these experienced people that are going to bring their wealth and knowledge of the English game into a club that has been lacking this for so many years. And obviously, if Joshua Zirkzee doesn't work out, then you've then got an expensive striker in a few years. You ain't going to shift, and no one's going to want him, and no one's going to want to buy him, because if he's not achieving what Man United hope he's going to achieve, Man United have then got another massive expensive paperweight at that club that no one's going to want. No one's not going to go anywhere near. But for me, like I said, I get excited when we get new players. I get that excitement. I get that thrill. I get that buzz when we see new players come into the club. And obviously, I will back Joshua Zirkzee. I will back him to the mill and back. I will back him very, very much. And I hope the move goes well. I hope he has a successful career at Manchester United. I think all fans and all supporters are hoping this move is the right move for him at his very, very young start of his career, because he's only 23. He's still a very, very, very young striker. And there's still a lot of learning and a lot of progression that he's going to need to learn and adapt to in the Premier League. And I hope he takes it up straight away. But there's going to be that lack of experience there that he's probably thinking, well, this is going to be a different kettle of fish now to what I saw at a club like Bologna. And like, no disrespect to Bologna, they're back in the Champions League for the first time ever in their history. They are playing Champions League football. And you've got Bologna into the Champions League. Normally, at a club like Manchester United, you would struggle to get a player like that out of a club that are in the Champions League. Manchester United are only in Europe and in the Europa League because we won the FA Cup. Because we had a shit Premier League season. We finished 8th. We weren't in Europe, and the FA Cup was our saving grace. And I think for me, if we didn't have European football and we didn't have some kind of European competition to compete in, I don't think deals like this would have happened. Because Man United, I don't personally think, would have had the money to be able to buy these type of players. And obviously, Joshua Zirkzee had a release clause put in his Bologna contract, which is about £34 million. And obviously, Manchester United have swooped in very, very well, in my view, very slow. I mean, it's taken us 4 fucking weeks to sign a player. Like, it should not be taking that long to get players in and players out of this club. I feel, for me, this deal could have been done weeks ago. But what's annoyed me, and I'm seeing it on places like X, Twitter, I'm seeing it on YouTube, I'm seeing it on Sky Sports, I'm seeing it on BBC Sport. You see it on every social media platform that the reason why Man United have taken so long to get players in this summer is because of the Euros. Now, I don't know why people like me get a lot of shit off certain sections of this fan base and certain crap off certain supporters at this club. I don't understand why I've been given a lot of unnecessary shit for basically having my view and expressing how I feel. How can Manchester United say, well, the Euros has been in the way? At the end of the day, I couldn't care less if the Euros is in the way. I don't give a fuck that the Euros is in the way. Screw the fucking Euros. Man United have got a project rebuild here. Manchester United have got to come first. Screw what the Dutch team think. Screw what Portugal or Spain or France or Belgium think, or even England. At the end of the day, Manchester United have used the Euros to get this Joshua Zirkzee deal delayed. And it only got announced today. And it's like, this deal could have been done weeks ago. But apparently, the only comments that were coming out, Joshua Zirkzee's waiting until what happens after the Euros. That was no excuse. That is no excuse to wait to see what happens after the Euros. That's no excuse. And it could have been even longer, to be fair, if the Netherlands would have beat England. It could have been even longer till we got that here we go. But it's taken 4 fucking weeks because of the Euros. And Man United can absolutely use that as an excuse as much as they want. But fans like me are going to see it for how we see it. You can't use the Euros as an excuse not to get business done or to bring players in or sell players and get them out the club. You can't use the Euros as an excuse not to do business on and off the pitch. You can't use a major international tournament as a problem that half the players you want are representing their country at Euro 2024. That should not be a problem. All you've got to do is fly your team out to Germany and talk to these players, agree the deal with their agent, agree terms, get the deal done with the selling club and get that official announcement. And I feel sorry for Joshua Zirkzee because he's probably been put under immense stress and immense pressure. And he's probably even himself thinking, my future is uncertain here. I don't know where we're heading because we weren't the only club in the race for Zirkzee. We were not the only club in for him. Arsenal in for him. AC Milan really, really, really wanted him. And Man United hijacked the deal. The only reason he is coming to Manchester United is because we hijacked the deal from AC Milan. In June, Romano said, even in January, February, March, Joshua Zirkzee had his head and heart set on AC Milan. And we've heard the last through June and at the end of May that Joshua Zirkzee has got his head and heart set on the move to AC Milan. He really, really, really wanted to go to AC Milan. He wanted to stay in Serie A. He wanted to play Champions League football. And I wouldn't have blamed him if he would have picked AC Milan. I would not have blamed him at all because you're playing at a club that is in the top European competition of elite football. You've got a guaranteed position in that team up front and you're starting every game. And you're going to be earning quite good money playing for a top Italian club like AC Milan in Serie A. And obviously the reason why the AC Milan deal for Zirkzee hasn't happened is because Zirkzee's agent demanded extremely high commission fees for the deal. He wanted about 10 to 15 million euros to sanction the Joshua Zirkzee deal to AC Milan. And he also included, well, if you sign Joshua Zirkzee, we also want you to sign his brother. If you want Joshua Zirkzee, you bring his brother with him when you get the deal done. And AC Milan obviously saw that agent commission fee, saw that they had to sign his brother as well, so even more money. And the agent commission, they absolutely backed off because they thought the commission fee and the agent fee was absolutely ludicrous. And AC Milan had every right to do that. I wouldn't pay that agent commission fee. But Manchester United have somehow, from somewhere, managed to agree a deal with Zirkzee and managed to get a commission fee agreed also with his agent. And I don't know how much they've paid his agent. I've got no clue how much he has paid their agent for Manchester United to get this deal done. Manchester United must have given a bid or money that the agent couldn't refuse. And obviously, Ten Hag has convinced Zirkzee because we've seen the reports and the tweets and the social media that Ten Hag has spoken personally to Joshua Zirkzee so many times to convince him of the project at Manchester United. He's managed to call him and talk to him on a personal level to convince him this should be your next club. This is the project. This is what you're going to do. And this is what you're going to bring to this football club. And I'm convinced you're going to make it. And obviously, Ten Hag, again, has had to step in to convince this player to get him at Manchester United. And obviously, Joshua Zirkzee's probably had his head turned by the interest from Manchester United and thought, well, I've got two options here, or even three. I stay at Bologna for another year and get them back in the Champions League again, or we fall out the Champions League quite quickly. We've thought about mid-table in Serie A. We don't get European football next season. Option two is I go to AC Milan, where I've guaranteed myself a starting spot up front, down the middle. I've got my brother here and family connections, and I'm going to earn very, very good money playing for a top club like AC Milan. I'm going to be playing for a top club. Or option A, option one, is I've got Man United have now come in for me. They've hijacked the deal from AC Milan. They've come in, hijacked it. They've offered me a good future, a manager who really, really wants me, and he's guaranteed me playtime. He's guaranteed me what I'm going to be able to produce in this team, and he's guaranteed me quite a successful future. And obviously, Ten Hag has obviously still got that pull. And that is what I like about Erik Ten Hag. He's managing to bring these players in. At any other club, I think Erik Ten Hag would have been struggling to convince these players. I really, really think he would have been struggling. Because how I see it is, Erik Ten Hag is the guy and the mastermind behind bringing Zirkzee in. Because I think that AC Milan deal was very, very close in recent months. The Joshua Zirkzee deal to AC Milan was that close to happening. And also for Man United to go in and hijack it, I mean, fair play. They've got to be given their credentials and they've got to be given, well done for what you've been able to do and been able to produce. But I wasn't expecting anything special. I wasn't expecting Manchester United to get that deal done or even to hijack a deal from AC Milan. I mean, you've got to put respect on Man United's name for being able to hijack that deal in the first place, because if this was under the Glazers, which it still is because they're only working with INEOS and a minority investment, they've still got to be able to sanction these deals off. They've still got to give the go-ahead for these deals to happen. And they've obviously ticked it off and they probably thought, well, do you know what? It's quite a cheap deal. It's quite a cheap deal for a release clause for a player that, we've got a striker there and he's the only option. I mean, we have looked at numerous options throughout this transfer window so far. And I mean, 4 weeks to sign a striker has been absolutely mental. I can't believe it's taken us 4 weeks to get a player. Like, it should not have taken that long. And I don't deserve getting shit off social saying, stop moaning, stop whinging, stop whining. Let me put this into real terms here. If you want next season's start to be shit, then you've got to look at the transfer window, because if it's going to take 4 weeks to bring a striker in, you've got to start realising how long is it going to take for the next signing and then the next signing after that, because Joshua Zirkzee will not be the only signing we get. He will not be the only signing. I think there will be many, many new faces brought into this club, and I'm hoping that's what's going to happen, because Joshua Zirkzee on his own is not going to fix the problems from last season. I think for me, Man United won't be able to do all their business in the summer. I can't see it happening because we are still being told sell to buy, financial fair play, and we've also, we're on a strict budget. We can only do so much with the money we've got. I think it's bullshit, personally. But I'm excited by the signing. I mean, I will back the signing under Erik ten Hag, and I will back the football club for making the Zirkzee deal to happen in the first place, because it was looking very, very unlikely a few weeks ago that we were even linked with the player. And I think as soon as the opportunity came up for Man United to hijack the deal, and he probably looked at the other targets they had for the striker position, probably thought, well, we're not going to get him, we're not going to get him, and we're not going to get him. Joshua Zirkzee became the prime target. Joshua Zirkzee was the prime striker option that Man United were going to go for, because they knew they couldn't afford anyone else. They weren't going to get Harry Kane. They weren't going to get Osman. I mean, that Guirassy from Stuttgart's gone to Dortmund, so they weren't going to get him. João Felix at Barcelona, doesn't look like that's going to happen. He's gone back to Atletico Madrid. Jonathan David at Lille. I mean, we did look at him, and obviously probably wasn't the ideal candidate for the position for the striker at Man United, and probably not the type right profile that Ten Hag wanted for the style of play that he wants to bring to this club. And obviously, Joshua Zirkzee has probably ticked a lot of boxes, and probably there's been scouts at the Euros watching Zirkzee, but you haven't seen much of him because he's not been picked. That's the only problem I've got with this deal. If Zirkzee was the real prime striker target and he became the number one that Ten Hag wanted, if he had scouts at the Euros who have flown all the way out to Germany and they've gone to watch Zirkzee somehow get some game time, I think those scouts are going to be given a lot of the red face because he's not played. He's only come on with a few cameo appearances in the second half. And that's been late second half. That's not early second half. He's only been brought onto the pitch in a late stage of the game. I mean, if he was brought on Wednesday against England, he only had 2 minutes to do something. And in that 2 minutes, he couldn't exactly make an imprint on the game because Ronald Koeman, who's a complete prat, the Dutch manager, decided to bring him on with 2 minutes to go. So what can Joshua Zirkzee really do in a Dutch shirt with 2 minutes to go? I think for me that is very, very, very naive management. And I can't understand how Zirkzee didn't get ahead of Depay or Marlon or Simons and even Weghorst. Joshua Zirkzee should have been ahead of all four of those players. And it makes no sense why Ronald Koeman completely neglected a quality young striker that's actually got the balls by the horn and has got something that Dutch team was struggling. The Euros they were struggling to score goals. They weren't getting exactly the results that they wanted. And the reason why we've got the Zirkzee deal done is because the Dutch got knocked out of the Euros. That's the only reason why this Zirkzee deal has been sped up. Because when the Netherlands got knocked out, I think Man United knew, as soon as that full-time whistle went against England, Man United knew we can't wait any longer, because the more we wait and the more uncertainty we may get about the deal, maybe we're not 100% sure, or maybe we don't think this is the right target. Maybe we need to look at other options. And probably other options were ruled out on Wednesday night. Other options were quite quickly, I think, for me, ruled out, because Manchester United didn't really have a lot of other targets that they could have gone for, that they could afford. But again, for me, I think that is bullshit. I think there were other options we could have gone for, more experienced strikers. And we were told in the early access at the end of last season, even in the early stages of the transfer window, that Manchester United are looking for an experienced striker. Where is that experienced striker? Because again, we've been lied to by the media and by the press, that the rumours of we want to bring in a Premier League experienced striker, or an experienced striker that can score goals, that hasn't happened. So again, that is for me another failing for the club, and they're going to have to lick their wounds over that, because they said experienced striker. I think Joshua Zirkzee is a risk. It's a massive risk. He's going to have to hit the ground running, and he's going to hit the ground running pretty quickly. Because like I said, if this move doesn't work, you're going to lose a player in the future for not a lot of money. And it's going to work out quite a cheap sale. And I want the move to work out. I hope it works for Zirkzee. I want him to hit the ground running, because us fans aren't patient. Us fans need instant impact on the pitch. And if it's not going to happen quickly, you're going to have to start licking you and thinking, is this another mistake? Is this a striker that we've brought in, we're probably thinking can hit the numbers we need to hit, and he can do it quickly? But if he doesn't hit the ground quickly, and he doesn't hit the goals and the targets that we are setting him, Man United are going to have the same problem that they did last season. You've basically got Rasmus Højlund. But now we've got Zirkzee, I'm hoping we're going to be able to rotate the two. Or maybe we change the formation and play both strikers up front. Maybe we change the position of the team and the formation very quickly, and we go with a 3-5-2. We play 3 midfielders, 2 wing backs, 2 strikers. I don't think that's what we're going to do. I still think we're going to stick to our traditional 4-3-3 formation. I can't see Ten Hag changing this team that much formation-wise, but I think there's going to be a lot of new players in this team that are going to have to go straight into that team, because you've only paid about 34 million. And if Zirkzee can hit the ground running and he can do it quickly, he could easily sub Rasmus to the bench. He could easily say, well, do you know what? I'm the star man here. I'm doing this every week and I'm doing it on a consistent basis. I should be the one starting ahead of you. And there's going to be a competition for places. There's a competition for places now. And I'm hoping that competition will inspire the goals. I'm hoping both Højlund and Zirkzee are going to be able to deliver Man United this season. And I hope both strikers help each other. I hope these strikers are going to contribute to mainly most of the goals that I'm hoping we are going to score this season, because you don't want to see these strikers' goals drying up quickly, because you don't want them having to rely on other areas of the team for the goals. Because if the strikers aren't adding any goals in, where's the rest coming from? And again, that's going to be another problem. If we don't find the solutions to the goal scoring problems again, we could be back to square number one. But there's also rumours coming out tonight that obviously Mason Greenwood's moved to Marseille for about £27 million with 4 million in add-ons for about 31 million. There's rumours Man United might still bring in another striker, and the candidate there is Ivan Toney. So it looks like Zirkzee is not going to be the only striker we bring in. It looks like Zirkzee is not going to be the only striker, is not going to be only anyone. And I would say that quite confidently, that if we are looking at selling Greenwood and getting Ivan Toney in, I think United are going to have to do it. He's got 1 year left on his contract. You've got 3 strikers. But then the problem comes, you've got 3 strikers fighting for 1 or 2 positions, And trying to keep all those three strikers happy in one team, it is not going to be an easy job for Ten Hag. But we did say we are looking for an experienced striker. Ivan Toney, 1 year left on his contract at Brentford. I think is a no-win-win situation. I would take Ivan Toney at Manchester United. He's got the experience, he's got the goals in him, and he's got the quality he added at Brentford. And I think he could do that at a top club like United. And maybe we can do a deal with Brentford. Maybe that Greenwood money might go towards the Ivan Toney deal. I mean, the deal isn't close. We are looking at another striker, according to James Ducker in the Telegraph, that we are looking for another striker. So it looks like Zirkzee won't be the only striker we bring in. And, maybe that is a positive thing, maybe having three strikers, because, like I said, if you lose Rasmus or you lose Zirkzee to injury, you're basically left with Rashford. And that's it. You're left basically with Rashford. And Rashford isn't really a striker. He's a left winger. And he can't play on the right. He's preferred on the left. So maybe bringing in Ivan Toney as well as Zirkzee isn't a bad idea. But obviously, United wanted Zirkzee quite quickly, as soon as they were given encouragement that, do you know what? This AC Milan move ain't going to work out for me. Maybe Man United is the better destination for me to prove my career. And like I said, I'm hoping it works out. He's got a long 6 years ahead of him. And I think, given the time, given the quality he needs, and, I'm hoping he's going to be given the service, because, again, that's what we lacked last season. We lacked service from the wide areas, and our strikers couldn't score goals. So I'm hoping United are looking in that field of the team as well, thinking, well, we've brought you a striker. We now need a winger. And we are looking at Dani Olmo from RB Leipzig, and he's got a €60 million release clause. So that's about 55 to 53 million, I think. I'm not exactly quite right there with my currencies. What I'm trying to say. I think is about 52 to 53 million. And I would not be against signing Dani Olmo from Leipzig. I think he's had a fantastic tournament for Spain. Obviously, Spain play England in the final of Euro 2024 on Sunday evening at 8 o'clock, live on ITV and BBC One on both channels to watch. I think Dani Olmo has been brilliant for Spain. I think if we can sell Sancho, sell Greenwood, sell Palestri, sell Ahmad, or maybe sell Anthony, keep Ahmad and have Dani Olmo, we might finally have our service for our strikers in Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee. And obviously, this is, again, another massive step up for Zirkzee. You're going from Bologna to Manchester United. And I think soon as that release clause came into Man United's mind, well, it's only 34 million here. It's a win-win situation. And it's the type of money we probably would even consider having to even consider buying at such a cheap price, because it's only 34 million. And Man United are doing it over 3 years. So it's not exactly like we're paying that money up front. We are doing that deal over 3 years to pay Bologna. So that 35 million isn't exactly being paid in 1 year lump sum. United didn't have to pay the money up front. So that is a fucking bonus there, that we didn't have to pay the release clause, and we didn't have to pay all the 35 million in one full sum. We've split it over 3 years. We'll probably pay 10 million 1 year, 10 million the next, and then 10 million the next. So United have probably saved themselves about 25 million overall, but in one signing. And again, that wouldn't happen under the Glazers. But since this new recruitment team, and obviously these new people have come in that United have brought into the club, things maybe are starting to look up. Maybe things are going to start looking better, but I'm still going to hold judgment until I know what this transfer window as a whole is going to be like. Because it's only one signing. And that, again, is very, very concerning, that it's taken 4 weeks to get one player. I don't think that will be that. I think there will be many more additions to this team, because we are still looking to sell half these players we've got now to bring in new players and bring money into the club. So we're still looking to offload so many more players. And I think hopefully Joshua Zirkzee will be the first of many new faces we will see at Old Trafford this season. I'm really looking forward to seeing him come out in a United shirt. I'm looking forward to him holding up the shirt, and I'm looking forward to the official announcement when we've completed the signing of Joshua Zirkzee. And once that happens, we will go live. But I think he can do it United. But I'm still going to hold judgment because I've not seen much of him. I don't watch Serie A a lot. I only watch clips and a few little videos here and there. I don't know a lot about the player, so I'm not going to hold my hands up and say I know this, that, and the other. I only watch a little tiny bit of Serie A. And I've seen the goals that, Zirkzee can score, and he has got the quality to be able to deliver the goals that United are desperately, desperately crying out for. And I'm hoping he can do that in United shirt. But like I said, the difference between the Serie A and the Premier League, it is night and day for him. It is a massive, massive step up. And like I'm saying, as a Man United fan, as a Man United support, I'm hoping this move works, because if this goes wrong and he doesn't score any goals this season, we are going to be left red-faced here. We've bought a striker that can't score goals. And if that does come to a conclusion, that does happen, United have got a big problem, because we were promised experienced striker. That might still happen with the Ivan Toney rumours tonight, but it's all if, buts and maybes if we do go in for another striker. And if we do, I'm not totally against it. More new players, the better, really, because that is what we need going forward. Because like I said, if you lose Rasmus or you lose Zirkzee's injury, we're screwed again. We're back to square number one again. So I'm hoping beneficiary go and get Toney for 40 million. I don't think Brentford could reject 40 million from Manchester United. And I don't think Ivan Toney would turn it down. I don't think Ivan Toney would turn down a move to Manchester United, because he'll be playing European football. It's a step up. And maybe bringing in that experience will help the younger strikers develop their game. And that might be a bonus. Maybe Man United are looking at that, because thinking, well, you've got Zirkzee, we've got Rasmus Højlund. If we bring in a player like Ivan Toney to bring the experience and the goals, that can add and build the confidence and the quality in both their games, that could help develop them even more quicker. So I'm kind of hoping that Ivan Toney deal does happen now. And if we are looking at him, I think United have got to go all out. And I think we're going to have to get that deal done pretty quick. Because like I said, we're on week 4 of the summer transfer window officially today, because it is Friday here in the UK on the 12th of July. We are on week 4, and it's taken 4 weeks for our first signing. I was expecting more, personally, in my view. I was expecting players at the end of June. I was expecting players at the beginning of July. We're on the 12th of July already. We kick off our pre-season tour on Monday away to Rosenborg. So it's not great preparation, is it really? There's going to be a lot of players who are not going to be on that tour. And Zirkzee ain't going to be there either. And if we get any more news or transfers or breaking transfer news coming in from Old Trafford, from Manchester United, we will go live and we will react to it. But if the rumours are true, it looks like Matthijs de Ligt of Bayern Munich, the main centre-back target, hopefully we'll get the here we go today. Hopefully we'll get here we go number 2 for de Ligt. I'm not promising anything, but with the rumours that this deal is pretty imminent, hopefully we will get that here we go of de Ligt today. But there's no guarantees. I think Man United will want to get Zirkzee done first, and maybe get de Ligt done over the weekend, and then hopefully move on from that. But we've also put a bid in for Lenioro. Hopefully he does choose us over Real Madrid. We're still trying to get Brantwaite in. I mean, 3 new centre-backs. See you later, Maguire. See you later, Lindelof. See you later, Johnny Evans. You ain't going to be at the club anymore. And you'll have Martinez, Cambuala, de Ligt, Brantwaite, and Lenioro. That isn't a bad back 5, is it? There's 5 centre-backs there. I think that could do. I personally think that could do. But like I said, the main article is we've got that official first here we go today. Joshua Zirkzee to Manchester United. Here we go. I'm absolutely delighted that we've finally got it. It's been a long, long 4 weeks. It's been a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, a lot of impatience. And it has required a lot of patience as well. I mean, we've basically turned into a Take That song. It has taken a lot of patience to get that first here we go. But Joshua Zirkzee to Manchester United, here we go. Hopefully this move works out for him. Hopefully he has a successful career at Manchester United Football Club. And we wish Joshua Zirkzee all the best here. Welcome to the Manchester United Football Club. Welcome to the Manchester United family, Joshua Zirkzee. Here we go. So, I hope you enjoyed this latest new transfer news to the reaction of Joshua Zirkzee's transfer from Bologna to Manchester United with the official Here We Go. Hit the like button and the share button. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Share the video. Hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button. And always remember that notification bell. Put that bell on at all times because we are going to be going live a lot this summer, right throughout the summer transfer window with Manchester United. Hopefully, we'll be talking a lot more players in than players out, but we will react if big players do go. We might see some big names go that we're not expecting, and there could be some shell shocks in this fan base if certain favourites were to get sold. I mean, I'm not ruling out Bruno going. I'm not ruling out Rashford going. But today is a news that we can finally celebrate. Joshua Zirkzee to Manchester United. Here we go. He will become a Manchester United player. He's already in Manchester. He landed on the late hours of Thursday night. Joshua Zirkzee will have his medical today, meet the players, meet Ten Hag and sign his contract. But Joshua Zirkzee, welcome to Manchester United.